Justin Randall Timberlake, born January 31, 1981, is an American singer-songwriter, actor and record producer. Born and raised in Tennessee, he appeared on the television shows Star Search and the all-new Mickey Mouse Club as a child. In the late 1990s, Timberlake rose to prominence as one of the two lead vocalists and youngest member of NSYNC, which eventually became one of the best-selling boy bands of all time. Timberlake began to adopt a more mature image as an artist with the release of his debut solo album, the R&B-focused Justified, 2002, which yielded the successful singles Cry Me a River and Rock Your Body, and earned his first 2 Grammy Awards. His critically acclaimed second album FutureSex, LoveSounds, 2006, characterized by its diversity in music genres, debuted atop the U.S. Billboard 200 and produced the Hot 100 #1 singles SexyBack, My Love, and What Goes Around Comes Around. Established as a solo artist worldwide, his first 2 albums both exceeded sales of 10 million copies. He produced records and collaborated with other artists. From 2008 through 2012, Timberlake focused on his acting career, effectively putting his music career on hiatus. He held starring roles in the films The Social Network, Bad Teacher, In Time, and Friends with Benefits. Timberlake resumed his music career in 2013 with his third and fourth albums The 2020 Experience and The 2020 Experience, 2 of 2, exploring neo-soul styles, partly inspired by the expansive song structures of 1960s and 1970s rock. The former became the best-selling album of the year in the U.S. with the largest sales week, and spawned the top 3 singles Suit and Tie and Mirrors, while the latter produced the top 10 song Not a Bad Thing. For his live performances, including the eponymous concert tour for the albums, he began performing with his band The Tennessee Kids, composed by instrumentalists and dancers. Timberlake voiced the lead character in DreamWorks Animation's Trolls, 2016, which soundtrack includes his 5th Billboard Hot 100 chart-topping single, Can't Stop the Feeling. Among numerous awards and accolades, Timberlake is the recipient of 10 Grammy Awards, 4 Emmy Awards, 3 Brit Awards, and 9 Billboard Music Awards. Time named him one of the 100 most influential people in the world in 2007 and 2013. His other ventures include record label Tenman Records, fashion label William Rast, and the restaurants Destino and Southern Hospitality. Justin Randall Timberlake was born on January 31, 1981 in Memphis, Tennessee, to Lynn, Lamar, Harless and Charles Randall Timberlake, a Baptist church choir director. Timberlake grew up in Shelby Forest, a small community between Memphis and Millington. He has 2 half-brothers, Jonathan, born September 12, 1993, and Stephen, born August 14, 1998, from Charles' second marriage to Lisa Perry. His half-sister Laura Catherine died shortly after birth on May 12, 1997, and is mentioned in his acknowledgments in the album NSYNC as My Angel in Heaven. His family circle includes a number of musicians. His grandfather introduced him to music from country artists like Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson. Performing as a child, Timberlake sang country and gospel music. At the age of 11, Timberlake appeared on the television show Star Search, performing country songs as Justin Randall. By that time, he began listening to rhythm and blues musicians from the 1960s and 70s, such as Al Green, Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye, and he had listening sessions with his father of studio albums by the Eagles and Bob Seger. In 1993 and 1994, he was a cast member in the Mickey Mouse Club, where his castmates included future girlfriend and singer Britney Spears, future tourmate Christina Aguilera, future bandmate J.C. Chase, and future movie actors Ryan Gosling and Kerry Russell. Timberlake then recruited Chase to be in an all-male singing group, organized by boy band manager Lou Pearlman, that eventually became NSYNC. The boy band NSYNC formed in 1995, and began their career in 1996 in Europe. Timberlake and Chase served as its 2 lead singers. In 1998, The group rose to prominence in the United States with the release of their self-titled debut studio album, which sold 11 million copies and included the hit single Tearing Up My Heart. Their second album No Strings Attached, 2000, sold 2.4 million copies in the first week, and included a #1 single, It's Gonna Be Me. NSYNC's third album Celebrity, 2001, was also financially successful. Upon the completion of the Celebrity tour, the group went into hiatus in 2002. In its lifetime, NSYNC was internationally famous and performed at the Academy Awards, the Olympics, and the Super Bowl, as well as selling more than 50 million copies worldwide, becoming the third best-selling boy band in history. In late 1999, Timberlake appeared in the Disney Channel movie Model Behavior. He played Jason Sharp, a model who falls in love with a waitress after mistaking her for another model. It was released on March 12, 2000. The rise of his own stardom and the general decline in the popularity of boy bands led to the dissolution of NSYNC. Band member Lance Bass was openly critical of Timberlake's actions in his memoir Out of Sync. In August 2002, Timberlake performed at the 2002 MTV Video Music Awards, where he premiered his debut solo single Like I Love You. It peaked at number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 2 on the UK Singles Chart. His debut solo studio album Justified was released in November and debuted as number 2 on the Billboard 200 with first-week sales of 439,000 copies, fewer than previous NSYNC releases. It went on to sell over 3 million copies in the US and more than 7 million copies worldwide. Its R&B influence, provided by hip-hop producers the Neptunes and Timbaland, was complimented by music critics. About the musical direction of the record, he commented, "I just want to do R&B. It's what I grew up listening to." And the album spawned a top 5 singles Cry Me a River and Rock Your Body. In summer 2003, Timberlake and Christina Aguilera headlined the Justified, Stripped tour. Later that year he recorded a song I'm Lovin' It, used by McDonald's as the theme to its I'm Lovin' It campaign. The deal with McDonald's earned Timberlake an estimated $6 million. A tour titled Justified and Lovin' It Live was included with the deal, following his initial Justified World Tour. Timberlake was featured on Nelly's song, Work It, which was remixed and included on Nelly's 2003 remix album. Near the end of 2002, Timberlake was the first celebrity to appear on Punk'd, a candid camera-type show created by Ashton Kutcher to trick celebrities. Timberlake, who cried during the episode, later admitted to being under the influence of cannabis when he was pranked. 3 episodes later, he set up Kelly Osbourne to be punked, thus making him the first celebrity to appear on the show more than once. Timberlake later spoofed Ashton Kutcher and punked in a 2003 episode of NBC's Saturday Night Live. Timberlake co-starred in a skit titled The Barry Gibb Talk Show alongside comedian Jimmy Fallon, where the duo portrayed Bee Gees brothers Barry and Robin Gibb. It marked the beginning of a long-running friendship and collaboration with Fallon. In February 2004, during the halftime show of the Super Bowl 38 broadcast on the CBS television network from Houston, Timberlake performed with Janet Jackson before a television audience of more than 140 million viewers. At the end of the performance, as the song drew to a close, Timberlake tore off a part of Jackson's black leather costume in a costume reveal meant to accompany a portion of the song lyrics. Jackson's representative explained Timberlake intended to pull away the rubber buster to reveal a red lace bra. The garment collapsed and her breast was accidentally revealed. Part of the costume detached, and Jackson's breast was briefly exposed. Timberlake apologized for the incident, stating he was sorry that anyone was offended by the wardrobe malfunction during the halftime performance of the Super Bowl. The phrase wardrobe malfunction has since been used by the media to refer to the incident and has entered pop culture. Timberlake and Jackson were threatened with exclusion from the 2004 Grammy Awards unless they agreed to apologize on screen at the event. Timberlake attended and issued a scripted apology when accepting the first of 2 Grammy Awards he received that night, Best Pop Vocal Album for Justified and Best Male Pop Vocal Performance for Cry a River. He had also been nominated for Album of the Year for Justified, and Record of the Year along with Best Rap Song Collaboration for Where Is the Love? With the Black Eyed Peas. After the Super Bowl incident, Timberlake put his recording career on hold to act in several films, having starred in a few feature films earlier in his career. The first role he took during this time was as a journalist in Edison Force, filmed in 2004 and received a direct-to-video release on July 18, 2006. He also appeared in the films Alpha Dog, Black Snake Moan, Richard Kelly's Southland Tales, and voiced Prince Artie Pendragon in the animated film Shrek the Third, released on May 18, 2007. He also appeared as a young Elton John, in the video for John's song This Train Don't Stop There Anymore. Timberlake was considered to play the role of Roger Davis in the film version of the rock musical Rent, but director Chris Columbus had insisted that only the original Broadway members could convey the true meaning of Rent, so role was reprised by Adam Pascal. He continued to record with other artists. After Where Is the Love? He again collaborated with the Black Eyed Peas on the 2005 track My Style from their album Monkey Business. When recording the 2005 single Signs with Snoop Dogg, Timberlake discovered a throat condition. Nodules were subsequently removed from his throat in an operation that took place on May 5, 2005. He was advised not to sing or speak loudly for at least a few months. In 2005, he began his own record company, JT Records. Timberlake released his second studio album, FutureSex, LoveSounds, on September 12, 2006. The album, which Timberlake created from 2005 to 2006, debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 album chart, selling 684,000 copies its first week. It became the biggest album for pre-orders on iTunes, and beat Coldplay's record for the biggest one-week sales of a digital album. The album was produced by Timbaland and Donja, who produced the bulk of the album, Will.I.am, Rick Rubin and Timberlake himself, and features guest vocals by Snoop Dogg, 9-6 Mafia, T.I. and Will.I.am. A studio representative described it as being all about sexiness and aiming for an adult feel. The album's lead single, SexyBack, was performed by Timberlake at the opening of the 2006 MTV Video Music Awards and reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, where it remained for 7 consecutive weeks. My Love, the album's second single, also produced by Timbaland and featuring rapper T.I., reached number 1 on the Hot 100, as did third single What Goes Around Comes Around. The song is reported to have been inspired by the breakup of his childhood friend and business partner, Tracy Yalla, with actress Elisha Cuthbert. In October 2006, Timberlake said that he would focus on his music career rather than his film roles, specifying that leaving the music industry would be a dumb thing to do at this point. He was the special guest performer at the 2006 Victoria's Secret fashion show where he sang SexyBack, My Love and Love Stoned. Timberlake hosted many music events, including the European MTV Music Awards in 2006. On December 16, 2006, Timberlake hosted Saturday Night Live, doing double duty as both hoster and musical guest for the second time. During this appearance, he and Andy Samberg performed an R&B song for a skit titled Dick in a Box, which some radio stations aired as an unofficial single from Timberlake. Called one of the most iconic musical moments in the show's history by Billboard, it became a viral hit and one of the most viewed videos on YouTube at the time. Rolling Stone listed the skit at number 3 on their 50 Greatest Saturday Night Live sketches of all time. The song earned him an Emmy Award and was later featured on the Lonely Island's debut album Incredible. In January 2007, Timberlake embarked on the FutureSex, Love Show tour. Following singles off the album, Love Stoned, I Think She Knows, Interlude, and Until the End of Time, peaked within the top 20 on the Hot 100, while the sixth single Summer Love reached the top 10. The song Give It To Me, a Timbaland single on which Timberlake guests with Nelly Furtado, reached the Hot 100 #1 spot. Eventually, FutureSex, LoveSounds was added to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's musical library and archive. The song 4 Minutes was first played by Timbaland at Philadelphia's Jingle Ball on December 17, 2007. When released on March 17, 2008, 4 Minutes was revealed to be a duet between Timberlake and Madonna, with backing vocals by Timbaland. It was lead single from Madonna's 11th studio album Hard Candy, which featured 4 other songwriting collaborations with Timberlake, being also one of the executive producers. The single was an international hit, topping the charts in over 21 countries worldwide. Timberlake also appears in the music video, which was directed by Jonas and Francois. On March 30, 2008, Timberlake performed the song at Madonna's Hard Candy promo show at Roseland Ballroom in New York City. On November 6, 2008, Timberlake performed the song with Madonna on the Los Angeles stop of her Sticky and Sweet tour. In June 2007, Timberlake co-wrote, produced and provided vocals for the songs Night Runner and Falling Down for Duran Duran's album Red Carpet Massacre, released on November 13, 2007. Falling Down had been released as a single in the UK on the previous day. Also in 2007, Timberlake made an appearance on 50 Cent's third album, Curtis. Timberlake, along with Timbaland, is featured on a track called EO Technology, which was the album's 4th single. Also, another possible collaboration was to occur with Lil Wayne for his album Carter 3 with Nelly Furtado and Timbaland. With the wrapping up of the FutureSex, LoveSounds tour of Australasia and the Middle East in November 2007, Timberlake resumed his film career. Projects underway early in 2008 were starring roles in Mike Myers' comedy The Love Guru, released June 20, 2008, and Mike Meredith's drama The Open Road, released August 28, 2009. In March 2008 it was announced that he was to be an executive producer in an American adaptation of the hit Peruvian comedy My Problem with Women for NBC. On November 20, 2008, TV Guide reported that Timberlake's next single, Follow My Lead, which also featured vocals by Timberlake's protege, former YouTube star Esme Denders, would be available for exclusive download through MySpace. All proceeds would go to Shriners Hospitals for Children, a charity dedicated to improving pediatric care for sick children. In February 2008, Timberlake was awarded 2 Grammy Awards. At the 50th Grammy Awards ceremony, he won the award for Best Male Pop Vocal Performance for What Goes Around Comes Around, and the award for Best Dance Recording for Love Stoned, I Think She Knows. In 2008, a collaboration between Timberlake and T.I., Dead and Gone featured on T.I.'s 6th studio album, Paper Trail, and was released as its 4th single late in 2009. In November 2008, it was confirmed that Timberlake would make a guest appearance and produce some tracks on R&B/pop singer Ciara's upcoming album Fantasy Ride It Out May 5, 2009. Timberlake featured on Ciara's 2nd single Love Sex Magic, the video being shot on February 20, 2009. The single became a worldwide hit, reaching the top 10 in numerous countries and peaking at number 1 in several countries including Taiwan, India, and Turkey. The song was nominated for Best Pop Collaboration with Vocals at the 52nd Grammy Awards. Timberlake hosted the 16th SPY Awards, which musical number I Love Sports was later nominated for an Emmy Award. Timberlake and his production team The Wise, along with Michael Elizondo, produced and co-wrote the song Don't Let Me Down for Leona Lewis's 2nd studio album, Echo, released on November 17, 2009. Timberlake also co-wrote and performed on Carry Out, the 3rd single from Timbaland's album Shock Value 2, released on December 1, 2009. Timberlake appeared on Jimmy Fallon's debut as host of Late Night with Jimmy Fallon on March 2, 2009. Timberlake was the executive producer on the MTV reality series The Phone, which premiered on April 21, 2009. In late 2009, Barbadian singer Rihanna released the album Rated R, with Timberlake being one of the writers and producers. They both worked together previously for her third studio album Good Girl Gone Bad. From 2010, Timberlake increased his acting work. He played Sean Parker, the founder of Napster, in the acclaimed film The Social Network, 2010. He also appeared at the 2010 MTV VMAs on September 12, 2010. In 2011, he starred alongside Cameron Diaz in Bad Teacher and then alongside Mila Kunis in Friends with Benefits, and played Will Salas, the protagonist of In Time, a science fiction film by Andrew Niccol. He provided a feature and appeared in the music video for the song Mother Lover from the Lonely Island's second album Turtleneck and Chain, and directed and made a cameo in the Free Soul music video Hoodies On, Hats Though, which was released in August 2011. The Late Night with Jimmy Fallon sketch History of Rap was performed for the first time by both Fallon and Timberlake in 2010. In July 2011, United States Marine Kelsey DeSantis uploaded a YouTube video asking Timberlake to be her date to the United States Marine Corps birthday ball. They attended the event on November 13, 2011 in Richmond, Virginia. His fifth Saturday Night Live episode, as host and musical guest, was the most-watched episode since January 7, 2012. With Charles Barkley as host and Kelly Clarkson as musical guest. Timberlake began work on his third studio album The 2020 Experience in June 2012, with No Rules and Door and Goal in mind. He publicly announced his return to the music industry in January 2013, releasing the album's lead single Suit and Tie featuring Jay-Z later that month, which would eventually peak at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. After 4 years not performing in concert, Timberlake appeared the night before the 2013 Super Bowl and performed during the DirecTV Super Saturday Night, on February 2, 2013 in New Orleans. On February 10, 2013, he performed Suit and Tie with sepia-toned lighting at the 55th Annual Grammy Awards, with Jay-Z joining him from the audience. On February 11, 2013, Mirrors was released as the second single from the 2020 Experience. The song would eventually peak at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the UK Singles Chart. The 2020 Experience was released on March 19, 2013 through RCA Records due to the disbandment of Jive Records. The album set a digital sales record for being the fastest-selling album on the iTunes Store and debuted at number 1 on the charts by moving just over 968,000 copies in the U.S., the biggest sales week of 2013. It eventually became the best-selling album of the year in the country. Timberlake performed at the In-Performance at the White House, Memphis Soul concert, held in the East Room of the White House and hosted by President Barack Obama, celebrating Memphis soul music from the 1960s. Afterward, Timberlake officially announced the 2020 Experience World Tour, following his and Jay-Z's co-headlining concert tour Legends of the Summer Stadium Tour. Timberlake also appeared on Jay-Z's 12th studio album Magna Carta. Holy Grail on 3 songs, Holy Grail, BBC, along with Nas, Swizz Beatz, Timbaland, Pharrell Williams, Nigo and Beyoncé, and Heaven. On August 25, 2013, Timberlake received the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award at the 2013 MTV Video Music Awards. He also took home 3 competitive awards, including Video of the Year for Mirrors. Timberlake's 4th studio album The 2020 Experience, 2 of 2 was released on September 30, 2013 and debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200. Its lead single Take Back the Night was released on July 12, 2013, following by the second single TKO. Timberlake was given a production and writing credit on track 6 on Beyoncé's self-titled 5th studio album, which was released in December 2013. At the 57th Annual Grammy Awards, Timberlake was nominated for 7 awards, eventually winning 3, Best R&B Song for Push Your Love Girl, Best Rap Song Collaboration for Holy Grail, and Best Music Video for Suit and Tie. On February 25, 2014, Not a Bad Thing was released as the third single from the 2020 experience, 2 of 2. The song reached the top 10 on the Hot 100 and topped the mainstream top 40 chart. In 2014, Timberlake appeared on Michael Jackson's second posthumous recordscape on the song Love Never Felt So Good, which was produced by Timbaland, Jerome J. Rock Harmon and Timberlake. On May 14, 2014, a music video was also released featuring clips of Jackson, with Timberlake accompanied by a number of Jackson's fans performing some of Jackson's signature moves. The video was directed by Timberlake and Rich Lee. In 2015, Timberlake performed along with Jimmy Fallon the Saturday Night Live 40th Anniversary's Cold Open, returned to The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon as a guest to perform a 6th edition of the sketch History of Rap, and performed along with Chris Stapleton at the Country Music Association Awards. Showcasing the final date of the 2020 Experience World Tour at Las Vegas MGM Grand Garden Arena, the Space Age-themed concert film titled Justin Timberlake Plus the Tennessee Kids and directed by Jonathan Demme premiered at the 2016 Toronto International Film Festival on September 13. The streaming service Netflix announced its acquisition ahead of the film's debut at Film Festival, and released it on October 12, 2016. Timberlake composed the soundtrack and served as music supervisor for the 2017 film The Book of Love, which his wife Jessica Biel produced and starred. Timberlake voiced the lead character in DreamWorks Animation's musical comedy Trolls opposite Anna Kendrick. The film was released in November 2016, and will return for its sequel Trolls 2 in 2020. He also served as the executive music producer, performing original music for the film. The lead single, Can't Stop the Feeling, was released on May 6, 2016. Timberlake was invited by Swedish broadcaster Sveriges Television, SVT, to perform Can't Stop the Feeling live during the interval act at the grand finale of the Eurovision Song Contest 2016 on May 14, 2016. The single debuted at number 1 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, and reached the top spot in other 16 countries. It became his 8th U.S. mainstream top 40 number 1 song, at the moment being the most among male artists. It became the best-selling song of the year in the U.S. with 2.4 million copies sold. Speaking of his 5th studio album in 2016, he stated, "I think where I grew up in America has a lot of influence. Growing up in Tennessee, very central of the country, Memphis is known as the birthplace of rock and roll, but also the home of the blues, but Nashville's right down the street, so there's a lot of country music." In following interviews, Timberlake confirmed working with producers Timbaland, Pharrell Williams, Max Martin and SexyBack, while stating, "It sounds more like where I've come from than any other music I've ever made. It's Southern American music. But I want to make it sound modern, at least that's the idea right now." Woody Allen's upcoming film Under Wheels, starring by Kate Winslet, features Timberlake and Juno Temple in supporting roles. The film marks the first collaboration between Timberlake and director Allen. On February 26, 2017, Timberlake opened the 89th Academy Awards with a performance of Can't Stop the Feeling, since the song earned Max Martin, SexyBack and him a nomination. Timberlake will perform at Rock in Rio 2017 and the United States Grand Prix. In early 1999, Timberlake began dating fellow former The New Mickey Mouse Club cast member and singer Britney Spears. The relationship ended abruptly in March 2002. In April 2003, he began dating actress Cameron Diaz soon after they met at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. After much speculation of breakups throughout their relationship, the couple split in December 2006 shortly after she introduced him as musical guest on Saturday Night Live. In January 2007, Timberlake began dating actress Jessica Biel. They became engaged in December 2011, and married on October 19, 2012 at the Borgo Ignazia Resort in Fossano, Italy. Timberlake and Biel have one son, born in April 2015. Forbes magazine began reporting on Timberlake's earnings in 2008, calculating that he earned $44 million between June 2007 and June 2008 for his music, tour, commercials and hospitality, making him the world's fourth best-paid music personality at the time, above Madonna and Celine Dion. They placed him 12th on the Celebrity 100 list and second on the best-paid celebrities under 30 inches list. According to Billboard, Timberlake was the third highest-paid musician of 2013, with earnings of $31 million. He was ranked 26th with earnings of $57 million on the Celebrity 100 list for 2014, and 19th on the 2015 list with $63 million. Timberlake was listed at number 3 on Billboard Moneymakers list of 2014. Timberlake has a lyric tenor vocal range. Primarily an R&B album, his debut Justified also contains influences of dance pop, funk and soul music. During the production of FutureSex, LoveSounds, Timberlake was interested in rock music. This inspiration was used in his approach in recording the songs, rather than in composing them. Timberlake reveals, "I wanted to sing the song like a rock and roll singer, not an R&B singer." On the influences he drew from, he said that if Justified was characterized by Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder, FutureSex, LoveSounds is more like David Bowie and Prince. Other influences include late INXS frontman Michael Hutchence, Arcade Fire, David Byrne, The Killers, The Strokes, and Radiohead. He began including beatboxing in his records near the end of his boy band era and into his emergence as a solo act. This includes songs from Justified and FutureSex, LoveSounds. Unlike his previous record primarily focused on R&B and pop genres, FutureSex, LoveSounds is less concentrated on one particular sound, thus representing a wider range. Timberlake explains, "It's more broad as far as the styles I wanted to mix into my own type of thing." A musically complex album, FutureSex, LoveSounds is a fusion of rap, rock, funk, soul, gospel, new wave, opera, and world music, characterized by preludes and interludes interspersed on the album's tracks. Entertainment Weekly noted that the album's sound is a sonic departure from both NSYNC and Justified. Although What Goes Around sounds similar to Justified, Timberlake admitted that it is the only song in the new album to have such similarity. The 2020 Experience is a neo-soul album partly inspired by the expansive song structures of 1960s and 1970s rock. Mikhail Wood of the Los Angeles Times found its elaborate structures ambitious in the vein of Stevie Wonder, Prince, and Michael Jackson. Since his marriage, he incorporated themes of romance in his songwriting, as Complex noted, showing that he writes his tracks on his emotions, leaving him with a career of personal albums. Moments of emotional pain after betrayal influenced the songwriting of some previous records. Longtime critic Robert Hilburn for the Los Angeles Times praised Timberlake's act after attending the Justified and Strip tour in 2003, considering him born for the stage, with the savvy instincts to put together a show that works. Rather than make himself the constant center of attention, he was comfortable enough at times simply to be part of a talented ensemble. In 2013, Timberlake introduced his big band orchestra called the Tennessee Kids for Legends of the Summer and the 2020 Experience World Tour, which includes guitarists, dancers, background singers, drummers, bassists, keyboardists, trumpeters, a music coordinator, a percussionist, a saxophonist, among others musicians. The 2020 Experience allowed Timberlake to throw back to the big band era. Its stage production embraced the vintage sheen in everyone in classic suits. For the tour, Timberlake had a horn section on stage with him called the Regiment Horns. The Hollywood Reporter's Emily Zemler described him as a performer who was genuinely having fun, whereas John Perels of the New York Times commented that the singer reveals something darker, more fiery and intense while performing post-breakup revenge songs, such as Cry Me a River and What Goes Around Comes Around. Billboard editor Phil Gallo praised Timberlake's medley performance at the 2013 MTV Video Music Awards, saying he gave the show its heart and center, also mentioning his place as a modern recording artist and a solid link in the lineage of the most acclaimed performers in the show's history. The New York Times editor Katie Rogers highlighted Timberlake's crossover appeal after his performance with Chris Stapleton at the 2015 Country Music Association Awards. Described by critics as a consummate showman, Timberlake usually plays guitar, piano and keyboard in his shows. Timberlake was given Sexiest Man titles by Teen People and Cosmopolitan magazines. On February 17, 2009, Timberlake was named the most stylish man in America by GQ magazine. In 2011, he ranked number 46 on Ask Men's annual rundown of the 49 most influential men. VH1 listed him at number 3 on its 100 Sexiest Artists list. In Nielsen Music's U.S. report for 2015, Timberlake led the top 10 musicians among millennials list. Wax figures of Timberlake are found at Madame Tussauds wax museums in New York, Las Vegas, Hollywood, Nashville, Berlin, Amsterdam, and London. His costume for the Saturday Night Live skit Dick in a Box is displayed at Saturday Night Live, the exhibition in New York. The New York Times editor Siam Michelle wrote in 2007, since his last tour, for 2002's multi-platinum Justified, he has learned how to project sex symbol edge, adding he's a rock star who can commit. Napster's founder Sean Parker, portrayed by Timberlake in The Social Network, stated, "I don't think I look anything like Timberlake, but it's not so bad being played by a sex symbol." Timberlake's fashion and style evolution, from boy band synchronized wardrobe days to a notable source of fashion inspiration to men all over, has been noticed by the media. As noted by a Billboard editor, since his solo career began with the 2002 release of debut album Justified, Timberlake has honed his unique sense of style, while citing Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis and Frank Sinatra as style influences, guys who are just really never trying to be that stylish, they just were that. According to American fashion designer Tom Ford, who has dressed Timberlake since 2011 and created more than 600 exclusive pieces for the 2020 Experience World Tour, Timberlake has a kind of effortless cool that makes classic menswear tailor and modern. After New York legalized same-sex marriage in 2011, he voiced his support for LGBT equality in the U.S., stating, "We should be using our differences to bring ourselves closer together. Not be afraid of something that we don't know." Timberlake and his wife Jessica Biel received the Inspiration Award at the Gloss and Respect Awards in 2015, with the executive director saying, "They are two vocal and committed allies to the LGBT community who are also devoted to charitable works that improve the lives of youth." Influenced by the national attention received by Timberlake's selfie inside a voting booth shared on Instagram during the 2016 presidential election, which was at the moment an illegal act, Senator Brian Kelsey of Germantown brought up a bill that would allow taking photos in voting poll stations, with the exceptions of the acts of committing voter intimidation, fraud or selling a vote. It was later approved by the Tennessee Senate. Timberlake has been referred to as the President of Pop and Prince of Pop by contemporary critics. In a 2016 article of The Hollywood Reporter, editor Scott Feinberg stated Timberlake is widely regarded as one of the greatest all-around entertainers in the history of show business. In 2003, Rolling Stone named him the biggest pop star of the year and featured him on the magazine's cover, commenting that he attained the one thing most pop stars don't, and the one thing he wanted more than anything else, credibility. For Entertainment Weekly, his second studio album, FutureSex, LoveSounds, redefined pop's cutting edge. For Vibe, it pushed boundaries more forcefully than works by his male contemporaries. Fuse TV's editor Jason Lipschitz stated it changed the game. The album was steely and sweaty, a universal dance opus that made room for intimacy. It had the best first half of any pop album in 25 years. You have to go back to 1979 for Off the Wall, to find a pop album with the first half that matches up. He was ranked 66th on the VH1 100 Greatest Artists of All Time. Timberlake appeared for the first time on the Time 100 list of most influential people in 2007. In 2013, Timberlake made his second appearance on the 100 list, with Stevie Wonder writing "Justin has accomplished a lot at a young age, taking advantage of all the possibilities, and yet he's found time to give of himself too. He gets and gives back. He has a spirit. He does God's work through using the most of his talent." In October 2015, he was inducted into the Memphis Music Hall of Fame, becoming its youngest member. Justified's single "Cry Me a River," which is also considered by Rolling Stone to be one of the 500 greatest songs of all time, ranked at number 20 on the magazine's 100 Best Songs of the 2000s. It was further cited by Marilyn Manson as one of the main songs that influenced him. Billboard editor Jason Lipschitz named the song's music video one of the more brilliant musical moments in pop music since the dawn of the century. His second album FutureSex, LoveSounds, was placed at 46 on Rolling Stone's 100 Best Albums of the 2000s, the 9th best album of the decade for Entertainment Weekly, and the greatest of the decade for Vibe. The lead single, "SexyBack," helped introduce EDM sounds to Top 40 radio, as it brought together variations of electronic dance music with Timberlake's R&B sounds. Aside from earning critical acclaim for its parent album, according to Siam Michelle of the New York Times, he was responsible for popularizing in 2006 the catchphrase "I'm bringing sexy back." It spawned a phenomenon in which video makers spoofed the song. Considered a pop icon by media outlets, his work has influenced numerous artists, including Olly Murs, Maroon 5, Britney Spears, Lorde, Justin Bieber, Joe Jonas, Shawn Mendes, Thomas Rhett, Ed Sheeran, Jason Derulo, Liam Payne, Bridget Mendler, Tori Kelly, Hunter Hayes, Boa, Sungai, T.E.A., Rain, Lloyd Banks, and Maluma. Bieber and Nick Jonas have cited him as one of their role models, with the latter stating is for not only transitioning from where he started, but also balancing acting and singing. Christian hip-hop artist Toby Mac has stated Timberlake's work inspires him, commenting he's setting himself up to be a classic, making decisions and moving on them. That's a great place to be. In the context of male artists that achieved commercial success after leaving their boy bands, Brittany Spanos from Rolling Stone wrote Timberlake and Michael Jackson set a high bar for what could be attained by solo success, and that they not only scored numerous #1 hits but they also crafted the mold for what it meant to be a male pop star, while for Variety's Jeremy Blacklow the singer is the modern case study. All 4 of Timberlake's studio albums have been certified platinum or better by the RIAA and have received numerous awards. Worldwide sales figures for Justified stands at 10 million copies, FutureSex, LoveSounds at 10 million, and joint sales of the 2020 experience with 2 of 2 at 6 million copies. As of 2014, Timberlake has had 7 songs exceed 3 million digital downloads in the United States, with SexyBack, 4.5, 4 minutes, Dead and Gone, Suit and Tie, Mirrors, Holy Grail, and Can't Stop the Feeling. According to Billboard, FutureSex, Love Show was the 3rd highest-grossing concert tour of 2007 and highest solo. The 2020 Experience World Tour was an international success and became Timberlake's most successful tour to date. The tour was the highest-grossing led by a solo artist in 2014, and one of the highest-grossing tours of the decade. For its associated album, the 2020 Experience, Timberlake was named Artist of the Year with the top-selling album by Apple Incorporated's annual list of bestsellers. Throughout his solo career, Timberlake has won 10 Grammy Awards, 4 Emmy Awards, 7 American Music Awards, 3 Brit Awards, 9 Billboard Music Awards, and 11 MTV Video Music Awards. His Grammy wins include categories on the pop, dance and R&B genres, while his Emmy wins consist of 2 Outstanding Original Music and Lyrics and 2 Outstanding Guest Actor in a Comedy Series. Timberlake received the Video Vanguard Award at the 2013 MTV Video Music Awards, and the Innovator Award at the 2015 iHeartRadio Music Awards. Among other awards, he won the MTV Video Music Award for Video of the Year for Mirrors in 2013 and the Billboard Music Awards for Top Artist with the Top Billboard 200 album for the 2020 experience in 2014. Timberlake received the inaugural Decade Award at the 2016 Teen Choice Awards for his continuous achievements since the release of FutureSex, LoveSounds, 2006. In the United States, 5 of Timberlake's singles have topped the Billboard Hot 100, his most recent being Can't Stop the Feeling. He topped 9 Billboard year-end charts for 2013, including Billboard 200 Artists and Billboard 200 Albums. For 2014, Timberlake was named Billboard Top Male Artist. Timberlake has co-owned or provided celebrity endorsement for 3 restaurants in the United States. Kai opened in West Hollywood, California in 2003, and Destino and Southern Hospitality in New York opened in 2006 and 2007, respectively. In 2005, Timberlake launched the William Rast clothing line with childhood friend Juan Trace Ayala. The 2007 line contained cord jackets, cashmere sweaters, jeans, and polo shirts. The pair reports inspiration from fellow Memphis native Elvis Presley. Elvis is the perfect mixture of Justin and I, Ayala says. You can go back and see pictures of him in cowboy boots and a cowboy hat and a nice button-down shirt, but then again you can see him in a tux and a collared shirt with rhinestones on it and slacks. We like to think if he was alive today, what would he be wearing? Target has announced that a William Rast collection, including denim, outerwear and sportswear for men and women, would launch in December and be available for a month. In 2015, the clothing line earned him a Lord & Taylor's Fashion Oracle Award as the Fashion Group International's Night of the Stars Gala. An avid amateur golfer, in 2007 Timberlake purchased the rundown Big Creek Golf Course in his hometown of Millington, Tennessee, which he redeveloped as the eco-friendly Miramichi Golf Course at a cost of some $16 million. It was reopened on July 25, 2009 but closed again on January 15, 2010 for further improvements expected to take 6 months. In October 2011, Timberlake received the Futures Award at the Environmental Media Awards for his green-conscious golf course. It was reported on November 7, 2014, that Timberlake had sold Miramichi to Three Star Leasing LLC for $500,000. Timberlake and his wife Jessica Biel are minority owners of the Memphis Grizzlies. Timberlake provides celebrity endorsement for many commercial products, this aspect of his business being managed by IMG since April 2008. Major endorsements in 2009 included Sony Electronic Products, Givenchy's men's fragrance Play, the Audi A1, Callaway Golf Company products, and in 2011, MySpace. In 2012, he hosted Walmart's annual shareholders meeting saying, "I buy a lot at Walmart." In 2014, Timberlake partnered with Saza Liquors to relaunch his own version of the beverage as part of the Saza franchise, Saza 901. In 2016, he became an investor in beverage company Bay Brands. In 2017, Tiger Woods and Timberlake acquired an ownership stake in the Hurricane Junior Golf Tour. Timberlake has been active in several charitable pursuits, initially through NSYNC's Challenge for the Children aimed at a range of charities, and since 2001 through his Justin Timberlake Foundation, which initially funded music education programs in schools, but now has a much broader agenda. In October 2005, the Grammy Association presented Timberlake with an award for his humanitarian efforts in Tennessee, alongside writer-director Craig Brewer, also Memphis native. In November 2007, he donated $100,000 from takings from his Australian tour to Wildlife Warriors founded by Steve Irwin. On March 23, 2008, He donated $100,000 to the Memphis Rock and Soul Museum and another $100,000 to the Memphis Music Foundation. On November 12, 2007, the PGA Tour announced that Timberlake, an avid golfer who plays to a 6 handicap, would become the host of the tour's Las Vegas tournament starting in 2008. With Timberlake's agreement to host the tournament, its name was changed to the Justin Timberlake Shriners Hospitals for Children Open. He played in the Celebrity Pro-Am on the day before the competitive tournament and hosted a charity concert during the week of the tournament. The activity was a success, and was repeated in 2009. A review of the value of celebrities to fundraising concluded that Timberlake's contribution to Shriners Hospitals for Children was the single most valuable celebrity endorsement in the U.S. during 2009. And worth over $9 million. However, in 2012, the event's chair Raoul Frevel told reporters Timberlake would no longer be involved with the event. "We tried everything we could to get him more involved with our kids in the hospitals. But it seemed that when the TV cameras weren't on, he disappeared." Timberlake often participates in the American Century Championship and the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Both annual tournaments raise money for a range of national and local non-profits. In late 2012, Timberlake and his wife Jessica Biel volunteered in Far Rockaway, Queens, over the weekend after the Hurricane Sandy. Joined by their friend Tim Ballant, the couple helped distribute backpacks of supplies to members of the community who were still struggling after the hurricane. In 2016, Timberlake was featured in a new version of Where Is the Love? The proceeds of the charity single will go to educational programs. In 2017, Timberlake and Eminem helped raise over $2 million for Manchester Arena attack victims.